And I'll take those, and I'll take that. Thank you, Abby. I've got tonight's letters. They're all pretty good. I'll tell you what else I have. I have your responses to all the letters that we asked you to address during the week, so we can tell you what they're about when we go through our letters. And these are the letters, okay? You ready? Dad's 94. He's still sexually active. Why is that a problem? We'll see. I'm sick of taxpayer funds going to religions, aren't we all? And the final letter tonight, sex with robots in the 21st century. Not too bad, apparently. All these letters, we'll see what the panellists have got to say. Coming your way right now, sweet and sour. Don't go away. Cheers.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next chat-filled half hour. And who's on the panel tonight? All mates and one newbie who you'll meet right at the end. But first up, Slim Jim's on the panel. How are you, sir?
Great, Gary. Great to be here again.
I heard a little something about you.
What's that?
Your capacity to drink in tequila slammers. And we're going to have a chat about that.
In my day, it was I was fairly adept at doing it. Absolutely.
Are we allowed to reveal how many you did?
24 in 10 minutes.
Oh, and you'd say to all the young people watching?
Try it. You got to push the limits of human,
endurance.
Of human endurance. Exactly right.
And then try and recover.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Good to have you here, Slim.
Always good to be here.
Hello, Louanne.
Hello.
How many people have you been helping out with your relationship advice?
So many. Too many to count.
7?
Yeah, 7, 8.
78.
78.
There's a couple of letters there that are right up your alley, so to speak.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
Looking forward
good.
to
Good to have
making
you here.
comment there.
Good
and
on
everywhere.
you. Tanya, welcome back.
Thank you.
Where have you been? Sydney, everywhere.
Yeah, I have been to a few places.
You
yes.
have?
Yes. Long service leave is a blessing.
Oh, it is, for those who get it.
Who stay employed long enough.
Nice to have you back on the panel. And Michael, for the first time, welcome.
Thank you very much, Gary. Great to be here.
From my favourite establishment, the Crooked Spire.
That's right, mate.
Which is a restaurant.
Crooked way?
No, it's not.
Cafe.
There you go.
Sounds like
You haven't been there, have you, Tanya? Well, I have. I spend every day there, don't I, Michael?
You do, mate. You
I
do.
do. Good to have you here for the first time, mate. Hope you enjoyed. Here we go. First letter comes to us only from Attadale, which those of you who are not in WA, it's just up the road. Panellists, my mum died about 6 years ago. Dad, who is now 94 and very fit, has moved into an aged care facility. He certainly didn't need to move into a care facility, but his 85-year-old female companion of the last 3 years moved in, and Dad thought it would also be a good idea so they could be close. He's been there for 3 months, and he's so miserable. So is she. Her family contacted me and advised that they had brought in an age specialist psychologist, and it turns out that since moving into this facility, our parents have ceased to have an intimate relationship. I'm shocked to find my dad sexually active at his age, but good on him. Dad thought it would be easier to be living together at the same facility. For one financial reason or another, they are both in that facility now for all time. The problem, they cannot find any privacy. They are supervised constantly, and unfortunately, all rooms have window doors. They're being looked on. They both have their sense of dignity and privacy from another era and won't talk to us about this. They're both very embarrassed to even be offered some time together at my home. We don't know what to do. Apparently, this is a growing problem. Please, panellists, how do you suggest in their twilight years we may preserve our parents' dignity and privacy, yet still facilitate their intimacy? And it comes to us from Bruce, as we said, in Attadale of WA. Slim. Big growing problem, I hear, because more and more people are moving into these
Well,
things.
it sounds like it, but Bruce, I can't believe that your parents or your father and his new partner can't have some form of privacy. I mean, having a window on the door is just remarkable. So get a curtain for that straight away.
Curtain?
And also a do not disturb sign to stick around the door handle. But I find it quite remarkable that they're realising that these two are obviously having a relationship. They've obviously moved into the same facility. They need to be given some privacy and some time.
Yeah.
And a lock on the door.
And a lock
That'd
on
be
the
a good
door.
start.
Louanne, do you think it might be that they're from a different era? Do you think there might be, they're just hesitant to even let anybody in, apart from this psychologist, on their private conversations, and, they'll be embarrassed to be offered papering up the door and all that sort of thing?
Look, I think that we have to, really think about what we used to do when we were teenagers, or what we used to do,
Well, there's a whole show on that.
Because, it's sort of like winding the whole thing right back to what it was like when you were younger and you were trying to, facilitate a little bit of romance in the back of the car, or, they didn't have curtains everywhere either, but you kind of managed. And, talking of aged care, it's not that it's going to really help this couple, but having a room like they probably do in like some sort of prisons and things where you are allowed to go in and get your rocks off and do the wild thing and book it out like a hotel room, and make a roster. But after 7:30 at night, surely they're all asleep. Everybody else is asleep. Surely they can pop around.
That might be some of the problem though, because we say surely they're all asleep. But if you're 94 and you're very fit, maybe not.
Maybe not, but if somebody hears and somebody's offensive and somebody doesn't want to watch it, then don't. I think that if they actually just did their normal routine, they would probably find that the facilitators or the carers would be, oh my gosh, we've got to sort this out because we can't.
I wonder what the carers have actually said in regards to this.
What are they saying?
What are they saying? That's
What
right.
are they saying?
What? Yeah,
What can be
Tanya?
seen that can be unseen.
Or imagine yourself, say you're the 85-year-old female and you're embarrassed to talk to people about it. What would you then do? What would you...
By the chance it looks like that'll be about the time I'll actually get lucky. But, so I think it's a case of use it or lose it, and the most simple thing would be, as they are grown adults, at their age they've probably had more sex than half of us on here, is that they really shouldn't be embarrassed, and I would be asking to change doors, most simply. You don't have to keep glass doors on there. I would be approaching this facility.
Approach the facility and change the doors.
And say that we would like privacy. We just like some new freaking doors. It's
and
not
a lock on the
expensive.
door.
Yeah, it's
that
not
they
that
can
hard.
actually get in.
Yeah, and then if
Put
they...
a lock on the door that they can access on the outside as well if needs be.
That's right.
Because he's had a heart attack or something rather.
Yeah, and if they die, then you just put the old door back on. It's pretty simple. Because at the end of the day, everyone deserves to go out with a bang.
Boom, boom. All right, Michael, last word on this one. To a man.
Well, look, I'd just like to say, Bruce's dad, good on you, mate. You keep getting in there, you keep going for it. I just suggest, you know what, send Bruce's dad out for a show, a matinee, and hire a hotel room afterwards. That way they can be discreet, they're away from the home, a bit of entertainment at the show, and then a bit of entertainment afterwards.
Smart. Just take it away from the aged care centre. Don't even engage in the conversation. Show and a treat afterwards. Very good.
Absolutely.
It's a birthday present, and they might forget that you're actually doing it for them every month. When we come back, we're changing the topic a little. Religion and taxpayers' funds. Still supporting religions. How much longer are we going to go on like this? But apparently, Abby is telling me we've got your say to do. Sorry. And your say, because we asked you to answer the question that we were just referring to, and this is the question, should sexual activity be encouraged amongst the elderly in aged care facilities? And here's what you said, appearing on your screen right now. 47% said yes, and 53% of people said...
That's outrageous.
Why would 53% of people say no?
Because people think that old people are cute.
What's cute got to do with
I know,
having sex?
but then because they're like going, they can't have sex.
We'll
because
talk
they're
about
cute.
it. We'll see you shortly. All right? All right. After the break, religion and taxpayer funds. See you then. What about the next one?
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Talking sex.
Whoa! Slim
Practicing.
practices at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're not going to tell you what he's practicing at 2 o'clock in the morning, but at 2 o'clock in the morning he's up practicing if you drive past his place. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to one of these addresses that's appearing on your screen right now, and it'll land here. And for every letter that we like and discuss, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week, crew, is
Wonder Park.
Oh, how excited is this crew to be going to see Wonder Park as well? Terrific. Here we go. Vote One God from Ed of Prospect in South Australia. Very close to St Peter's Cathedral down the road there. Yes, very nice, that cathedral too. Hi, Sweet and Sour. I don't know everything, but I've acquired some wisdom. There's an election coming, and neither political party is sincere in forging a positive future direction for Australia. Showing my cynicism, I'm well aware both are pandering to their political base and then casting wide with goodies that will attract the self-interest of the disaffected. Is that true? If our political parties had integrity, we would have had both majors agree long ago that our political arena must be secular. Religions must be kept away from political pandering. I am sick and tired with God-botherers carrying sway with our politics. I'm very happy for all people to embrace and celebrate their own brand of religion, spirituality and values, whatever that be, but please keep it to yourself and don't push those values on me or anyone else. I'm sick of taxpayer funds going to religious schools and organisations or churches, mosques, synagogues, temples being tax-free, and also to have religions weighed in on social issues that simply hold us back. Gay marriage, case in point. Do the panellists agree it's time for a secular parliament and political parties free of religious panderings? Ed of Prospect in South Australia, straight to you, Tanya.
Thank you. No, I actually don't think it is. At the end of the day, we have to understand the political persuasions of whoever is in Parliament at the time or running for Parliament, because these things have a massive impact on how people make and formulate decisions. So I do believe that it is very important that it is made clear and public.
Michael, bringing you in.
Okay. Look, in the 2016 census, 30% of people said they weren't religious, so 70% identified with a religion. And I think
70% of people still have a religious bent.
That's right. And so I think the politicians are there to represent the people, and if people have a religious bent, then they need to be represented as well.
So it could be argued that 70% of your funds should be channelled that way, because 70% of us still have or hold dear religious values.
Look, I don't think it means that every decision needs to be based on that, or even 70% of those decisions. But at the end of the day, they are representing the people, and people with a religious bent do have a right to be represented as well.
Slim?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Michael. I do think that politicians will always represent their constituents. But there's two sides to this question which need to be answered. The first one, obviously, is, remove religion from having an influence on the political parties. But the other aspect of this is also talking about taxpayer funds going towards religious schools and organisations. Well, if the politicians are representing their constituents and that's what the constituents want, I have no problem with a politician doing so. I think it's essential that politicians do actually listen to the constituents, which most of the time we actually feel they don't. And they don't represent us correctly, or they're taking a microcosm of their area or their zone or their electorate, and they're actually specifically targeting at those because they are the most vocal. Because they're the most vocal doesn't actually give them the majority sway, in my opinion. And I think that probably needs to be analysed more so than just talking about them not having an influence on a party or a politician, and secondly about taxpayers' funds being used for religious-based organisations.
Slim, who do you think of the religious groups in Australia that carry the most sway politically?
Christian most, definitely.
Christian, still the most Christian. Mike,
100%.
Those statistics that we had, did it carve up to see how many people are still Christian?
Yeah, look, so if you add up the Catholics, the Anglicans and the other Christians, it's around 50%.
It's around 50%. So there's the reason that they carry so much sway politically.
Well, do they really?
I don't know.
Do they really, or is it the vocal minority that are getting a sway?
Well, it might be.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. Michael, would you know what the percentile is of gay people in Australia?
No idea.
That identify as gay? It's quite tiny.
Tiny.
But they were very vocal, and successfully, and rightfully so, were able to organise gay marriage being passed through Parliament, which I think is essential for, to be able. Well, Luanne, you should be able to relate to this. Everybody should be able to love whoever they wish.
Absolutely.
Come on in, Luanne.
Okay, two of my most favourite topics. Not either. It's like, really, I want to kill myself talking about these things. But at the end of the day, politics is about votes. Politics is about trying to keep as many people happy as you possibly can by getting their vote. And if people want to follow a religious denomination and vote a political party in, they're going to do so.
You're not going to stop them, are you?
You're not going to stop them. And so, you know, my views on religion are probably not for this panel. But
Okay.
probably not for this letter.
Guess what we're going to be chatting about during the break, huh? We asked you at home this question. Is it time for religious organisations to pay tax and stand back from exerting political influence? Here is what you said. 88% said yes, it is time for religious organisations to pay tax and stand back. Whatever that means. Interesting. When we come back, we're going to be talking about, cyber sex, I suppose. I don't know what you call it. You know, robots and AI, and how dangerous is AI, especially when it starts walking into the sexual arena. Don't go away. This is bound to be something very strange coming up. See you soon. Boom, ba boom, boom. Have you been
Oh, sweet and sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Here we go. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Straight into the last letter of the evening. Hello, Sweet and Sour panellists. I'm now very concerned with robotics and artificial intelligence and the dangerous social direction of our young people. My 28-year-old professional son disclosed with a very straight face his preference, given his workload, lifestyle and ambitions, to opt for a sexually compatible life-size doll once he's able to appropriately purchase such a thing. Ooh. He's shown me a YouTube video, and these are very much available now out of Japan. They are very pretty, life-size and responsive sex dolls. It makes me sick, and I told him as much. Is this an immaturity phase that will pass? He says he's not interested at present in the problems of real women nor kids, and doesn't know if he ever will be. Surely this is not normal, yet I have no remedy at hand. Could you please advise and let me know where you believe this AI journey for the world will lead us? Does it frighten any of you? Will robots take us all over? Judith of Armidale in Victoria. Lou, you're first up on that.
Okay.
Is it? Is it okay?
Okay. Well, humans create problems so that they can solve the problems. And this is just another problem that humans create so they can find a way to solve it. And we run around with a whole pile of false fantasies about the future and false fears about the future because none of us actually know what's going to happen in the future. So do we have something to worry about or do we not have something to worry about? I don't want to worry about whether I want to have something to worry about or not worry about. It is absolutely exhausting. When it comes to wanting to avoid problems, anything you try to avoid or you run away from, you're going to keep running into. So if he wants to try and avoid problems with women, he's going to keep running into problems with women. And, you know, as far as getting off, and that's what he's really talking about, I want to get off without any...
Consequences whatsoever.
Only the negatives towards that. But,
Well, he's still got to clean up
we've been
afterwards.
We've been inventing things to, you know, help pleasure us sexually for many, 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 many years. And this is just another level
Well,
of...
that's true, isn't it? Dolls have been around for...
Oh, vibrators, dolls, sex toys, threesomes. I mean, like, if people want to explore and they don't want to have the, you know, complications of it, then, you know, they'll purchase it all. But as far as worrying about what AI is going to do, like, really...
We don't have any answers.
We don't know.
Do we?
We don't have the answers, and it's just a fear to keep us under control. So I'd say, please don't worry about something
Don't worry?
that hasn't happened.
You're not worried about
hasn't
AI?
happened. No, I'm not.
Slim, are you worried about AI?
Not really, because I think it's, you know, I think we should all take enough interest in it to keep it in control. But in relation to this letter, I do think there's two things that's quite interesting. The 28-year-old does not want to have any form of a relationship with anybody, which is quite strange.
It's an issue, isn't it?
Well,
He's
it is
got
an
a-
issue, but don't forget, our
humans.
kids now are totally absorbed by social media. They're totally absorbed by, you know, digital technology, Xboxes, iPhones, and so forth. And that is disappointing for me. They don't read books anymore. They're reading books online. But I don't think the tangible, it's the same thing. It's not just having a book to be able to refer back to, even though you can sort of flick pages on an iPad. It's just not the same organic feel of having a book and owning that book, and then maybe able to refer back to that book at will. But regardless of that, this guy doesn't seem to be wanting to have any form of relationship with anybody. As a 28-year-old professional, I'm sure he's had some experience with some woman somewhere, sometime.
And maybe that's turned him off.
And maybe that's turned him off. Exactly right. And I do think it says has no interest at present for the problems of real women nor kids. So, you know, and there are people out there that make that decision not to get married and not to have kids. And you know what, Gary? They live happy lives.
Nothing wrong with that. We asked you at home, will artificially intelligent robots pose a threat to human evolution? Well, it's a little bit confused. Here's what you said at home. 57% said yes. 43% said no. Depends on the sample size, but I figure most people don't really know at this point in time. All right, Mike, AI, does it scare you?
Look, AI doesn't scare me, but I can understand why people might be afraid. I think in regards to our friend who prefers the company of a robot...
what's going on there?
Well, I suppose a couple of things. One, I'm curious what website he's getting that robot from.
Because?
Just as a matter of interest. Yeah, no, just for a friend.
Is the missus watching tonight?
I hope not. No, look, I think there's something missing from this situation. You know, a robot can only give you so much. It might give you some instant pleasure, but where is that connection, that love connection, that intimacy? You just can't get that with a robot. So I say encourage your son to find himself a real mate and find the great beauty that comes within having a relationship.
Last word, Tan.
Personally, I'd like to congratulate him because basically, well, he's not wasting anyone's time. I've actually dated men that are not interested at present in the problems of real women.
He's not a good catch, is that what you're saying?
No. So if he knows that that's not what he wants, I think it's great that he's prepared not to waste anyone's time and just get off on his own and not set false, unrealistic expectations to someone else who might actually feel for him and have feelings. So I think, well done.
If one of your kids came home in the future and said, oi, I've got one of these, what would you counsel them
I'd
with?
say go ahead. Because if he's not interested in actually treating with someone with the respect they deserve, then he can't really offend the doll, can he? So.
Well, let's hope not.
You can't offend a doll.
Well, with AI,
you can't offend a doll.
But he's got a few years leeway. So, I think bang away.
Technology will...
Bang away.
Bang away.
Technology will
change.
It will certainly change.
Well,
it
will
always
change
does.
the way that we sort of interact and how we meet people, but it fundamentally will never change the way that we love as human beings. We are
Human
made
nature
in
doesn't
exactly,
change.
you know, the way humans love and what we get when we're giving love and when we're receiving love is completely different than what any kind of mechanical robot can give you. So evolution will do what it's doing, but humans will fundamentally always seek that connection with somebody else.
You can still love something even if it's not going to reciprocate because love comes from within.
Yes,
so he can be there brushing the hair.
We're never going to stop loving, are we?
No.
No matter how much AI there is, you're never going to stop human nature, and we've got to go because we only have 30 seconds left. Good night, Slim.
Good night, mate.
Good night, mate. Terrific to have you here. Good night, Luke.
Good night.
Good night, darling. Good night, Tan.
Good night.
Michael, did you enjoy your first night?
I had a ball.
Do you want to come back?
Oh, yep, sure, mate.
Well, we'll
knock back a few
too.
espressos first.
No problem there. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye for now. This is where you wave, except I'm the only one on the camera at the moment. So they're actually doing all of that. Hang on. There you go. There we go. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. See you next week.